Hello friends, hello sightseers, welcome back to my channel, the Epiphany Playbook, my little experiment at following the signs, synchronicities, and of course epiphanies as I try to Forest Gump my way onto my life purpose and lead a more fulfilling life. This is day 14 of Limbo, aka unemployment. Yes, that's 2 weeks, folks. 2 weeks of limbo where it feels like the blink of an eye. It's amazing how fast time goes by when you're not doing something that you hate. Or maybe hate's a little extreme of a word, but things that you don't like doing, like a job, for example. Anyway, so I talked in a different video about something called Christ consciousness, which is a term that came to me in a dream. And I just wanted to hop on here real quick and touch back in a little bit on what I have found. I did some research on it and definitely went down a rabbit hole here. So first of all, just to kind of define a couple different sources, how they define it. So according to Wikipedia, it is a higher state of consciousness, the consciousness of God, or the part of the human that transcends animal instincts. According to Yogapedia, it is an awareness of the higher self. It is a state of consciousness in which a person has found self-realization and unity with God or the divine. Now, I personally don't subscribe to religious beliefs or one particular God, so I like to use terms such as the universe or the divine, but just know that you can insert any term that you feel comfortable with that resonates with you. So I wanted to know a little bit more about how consciousness was defined. It is the state of being awake or aware of a particular thing. Self-realization is the fulfillment of one's own potential. So this is where I kind of started diving deeper down the rabbit hole, and it led me to something from like adolescence, something I learned in school about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I don't know if that rings a bell to anybody else, but it did with me. And this is where I kind of identified with self-actualization, which is the highest in the 5 tiers. They show it as a pyramid of the hierarchy of needs. It's the most complex, basically. And it's when a person is able to fulfill or to take full advantage of his or her own talents while being mindful of her limitations. And this is where I was like, boom, that's where I'm at. That is what I need to live a more fulfilling life, is to take full advantage of the gifts that I have, that I was brought into this life with, that I have developed. It is the desire to become the most that one can be, achieving your potential. So I was like, okay, so that's where I'm at. That's sort of the core of this journey here that I'm on, this journey into purpose. And just a little background if you want to know what Maslow or who Maslow is. Abraham Maslow was a psychologist, and he studied what motivates human beings. And so this was developed in the 1943 or something like that, a long time ago, and had been around for a long time. But anyway, the self-actualization is, I think, what I need to focus a little bit more about. So he talks about being more concerned with your personal growth and less concerned with what people think of you, which is totally where I've gotten as I've gotten older. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here doing this right now. I don't even know exactly why I'm here doing this right now, except that this is just part of the extreme focus that I'm trying to place on my path. And I think that this, being here talking to you, with you, is helping me to focus as deeply as I can with where I'm trying to go. So anyway, ultimately, only that person can determine what means self-actualized to them. So that's not helpful because I still don't know. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. And some things that they say on bigthink.com is it's a constant work in progress. Um, and some qualities are to be present, be aware of your choices. It says we're constantly being faced with choices, and some of them are fear-based choices, and some of them are growth-based choices. And so focus on what it is you're choosing. Are you making this choice out of fear, or are you making this choice to grow? Which is, I think, a good sign of me being on this path is pausing and not just running out and taking the first job I've been offered, but really thinking about it instead of saying, like, am I just taking this for the paycheck, just to end up in another dead-end, miserable situation? Or am I making this choice because it's going to allow for my growth as a person? So there's that. Getting to know yourself. What are your opinions and morals outside of society? A lot of times when we spend so much time with other people, we end up trying to be just like them, like unconsciously. So spending time in solitude and getting to know what you really think and feel and what you really want, what's really right for you as a person. And be honest with yourself. It's the most important relationship you'll ever have. So be honest with yourself and take responsibility for your life, for the choices you're making, for where you're at. Also, that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to take responsibility for not being even remotely close to where I want to be in my life right now. And don't worry about conformity. Choose growth over fitting in with a crowd. Rely on yourself to make judgments. So these are some of the qualities I'm trying to follow as I journey into self-actualization as well as purpose, I guess. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Christ consciousness, just being in touch with yourself, having deep faith in the divine, and trusting that the universe is going to bring you to where you are desiring to go, not acting out of a fear-based place. So anyway, I love lists. This brought me to my next thing that I did, which was create lists on one side of strength and then of my weaknesses. So like it said, with self-actualization, it is to try and make full potential of your strengths while being aware of your weaknesses, and to try and find that balance and to how to work with them together. So I listed 10 of each, and I'm trying to find ways to find the things that I can use my strengths for, I guess. Which was another list that I went into next. Possible ways of fulfillment and the potential setbacks, keeping in mind my limitations. So that's where we're at, folks. Other things I'm noting are in terms of signs and synchronicities, I'm seeing dragonflies and butterflies everywhere and on everything. My mom bought me a bottle of wine the other day, and she's like, I thought you would just really like this. And I looked at it and it had a blue. Blue is the other thing, like a robin's egg blue, like a blue dragonfly on it. I was like, that's kind of funny, which is a sign of transformation. And 777 is also everywhere and in everything I am seeing. It's in my tarot cards. I mean, my reading this morning was showing me the ending of one cycle and giving rise to another. So I'm somewhere in this in between, and supposed to kind of take rest right now as I transition through those things and find awareness in that space. So, okay, folks, that's where we're at. Just checking in, and until next time, take care.